of course, is the main servers of Chinese, the gateways are concentrated in Beijing. It's controlled by the telecom ministry or whatever. So they have realized that they can embrace the internet and maintain control. And that is worrisome for, now we have developed cyber hacking. It's a major topic in the USChina. But the point is that they have developed the internet to the point that they are now the #1, the biggest internet user. Almost 1 billion have internet access in China. Almost 500 million have, are joining the social media, the social media revolution. That is where we are. So China keeps monitoring the internet and at the same time developing it so that it can neutralize or minimize its political threat and maximize its gains for not just economic development, but even the government. The government is in social media. Every major government department, they have their own Twitter-like. We call it the Weibo. Weibo is like the Twitter of China, Weibo. But unlike Weibo, 24 characters, what is Twitter? How many?
240.
For Twitter,
Huh?
140. 140.
140 characters, yeah, characters. And every character, sometimes a word has many characters, right? So unlike in the Chinese, the power of their Weibo is more powerful than Twitter because there are 140 characters. One character is one word. So they have more messages than Weibo. Almost one. well, 10 characters is one word in English, for example. So it's powerful. The Chinese public security, the foreign minister, everybody has a Weibo account. So they have to be joined in the social media debate. So of course they try to influence, they try to maintain the agenda setting. Of course, sensitive topics like June 4th lately, or even lately the cover of Xi Jinping and Obama as the broker mountain cover of The Economist. He's featured there, the two of them featured like the two movie actors. That's for the time sensitive time being, so you can share that. So they maintain this. From time to time, they have certain key phrases, words that are censored, and then they relax again. So back to that. So here is China, supposedly afraid of free information, and yet, as a matter of fact, this is now the world's biggest internet market. So here, again, go back to the China that we're dealing with. It's Communist Party. As long as it can be used to strengthen the Communist Party rule, they will welcome it. As long as it's not a threat to Communist Party rule, they will deal with it. They will try to compromise with you, try to find a solution to the common problem. But if it is a threat, then they will try to pose it. That's basically as simple as that. So here we are. I'm sorry for snapshots of China, but that's I think the latest that I can share with you about what they do.
Is there any questions or comments from the audience?
Yes.
You haven't.
Yung gusto mag-coffee, meron dito.
You haven't mentioned anything.
How do they deal with the corruption in government?
I'm sorry. I think Bobby you recognized.
Yeah.
Bobby, please.
You haven't
Corruption in
mentioned
the government, how do they deal with it?
Corruption.
Yeah.
Yeah. Corruption is now a major platform of the new leadership because there are corruptions at many levels of the party. On the grassroots, up, and the latest one is the Baculinao scandal, where his wife even killed a British businessman and their business corruption. How do they deal? They realize that life and death, the corruption is a life and death issue of the party. They know, again, the legitimacy is there. If they do not do something about corruption thing, it will lose the legitimacy, it will lose the right to govern, and they will lose power. Now, it's easier said than that. It's easier said than that. But the latest move is, I don't know if you are familiar with domestic. There is a guy called Wang Qishan. He's a very, he was the hero in the fight against SARS. SARS, SARS. Remember, there was a SARS medical emergency at the time. He's a doer. He's an achiever. He's well respected for getting things done. They were expecting that he would become a premier or vice premier in charge of the economy. He's really good at economic management. He was put instead into the chairmanship of the disciplinary commission. So there's something going on in terms of trying to improve their system. They're against corruption, of course, but the system is not there. It's lacking an effective system. So they're trying to do something. It remains to be seen whether they will come up with new measures. They're trying to experiment with some measures like declaring assets, but they haven't really implemented on a national scale. National officials must be required to declare their assets, but they haven't really implemented that. So they're floating some ideas. It's a serious problem. And Xi Jinping himself said that he has to do something. But the strategy here for the time being is that at the very top, corruption case involving the very top is highly controlled. It has to be, the political bureau has to approve it and all that before it really gets exposed, like in the case of Baculinao, if you remember the political bureau. But on the whole, the party is on the top, is trying to really maintain high discipline on their part, so that I would say the standing committee or even the political bureau, there is no major case of corruption at this point, but they are more tolerant of corruption expose at the lower level, and more. So, for example, immediately after Xi Jinping, they immediately allowed certain, they have videos sometimes of corrupt officials, sometimes the police, there are many ways of corruption. Suddenly, soon after Xi Jinping came to power, they immediately released some video of corruption and mistresses, and go together. They always found out that corrupt officials have mistresses, have 2 or 3 wives, or for one. they go together. So the mistresses are the vulnerable points for catching. And I don't know, it could happen in Canada, but they exposed one local provincial official having an affair with it. It's right there on the internet. It's not possible if it's not allowed, because again, there's control at the top of the portals, of the servers, but the fact that they allow these things means that they're giving outlets to corruption complaints, to make the officials more alert that they have to be on guard from now on. So it's a serious problem. They're trying to do something, but they realize the danger to the party itself of this thing, but we'll remain to be seen how far you can go. Understand, sir?
Linda, you wanted to ask a question?
Yeah, it's all been positive about China, our diplomacy, and all that kind of thing. But you haven't mentioned anything negative like their hacking, their internet hacking, which is and their bullying, really, those kind of things, which is a fact.
Let's put it this way. I'm sure the cyber hacking, the content is committed by everyone. But they are saying that they are also victims of cyber hacking. But this cyber hacking issue is a major issue now at the summit between Obama and all that. And we know the latest expose tracing the cyber hacking to a military unit in Shanghai. So on the official level, of course, they have declared the readiness to attack cyber hacking as a common problem. There has to be dialogue on that, and that they themselves are victims of cyber hacking. On the part of Chinese, let's put it this way. First of all, we just talk in strategic terms. The Chinese, they're trying to compete with the US, they have come up with certain theories of military strategy of warfare, and this is called the asymmetrical warfare, and that includes information warfare. It is clear in their strategy. So from that, they developed, I'm sure they have their own cyber intelligence, cyber hacking units. That's given. But how to deal with that? The fact is there is no international agreement on how to deal with it. So they use that to maybe according to our understanding to newspapers are targeted, intellectual property rights, even industrial secrets, all that. These are important sources of important targets in China's trying to accommodate intelligence. I think that's going on. There's no question
But
about
you
that.
say,
Voltaire,
Yeah.
Voltaire.
no, I'm finished.
Yeah.
Does she have power for what?
Yeah, she's finished. Voltaire?
Okay. You covered a lot about China, but one thing that was nagging in my head was how does the Chinese Communist Party see itself, and how do the people of China see themselves? Do they see themselves as communist socialist society, or do they see themselves as in a nationalist way? You talk about the Chinese dream, because that will drive China into some future. We might have a better assessment of what China will be doing in the future.
Yeah, right. Important point. There are few themselves, Communist Party. If you look at the Communist Party documents, the constitution, the program, they view themselves, the Communist Party, as a Communist Party. They have changed the strategy of how to achieve socialism and even problem communism. It's still there, and the party constitution, the ultimate aim, is there. So I'm thinking I'll address the question of self-definition. They find themselves as the Communist Party that with the ultimate aim of achieving communism is there. But they learn the lessons from Soviet experience, from the Cultural Revolution, from all their own national experience, of the better strategy to achieve that. So in terms of to explain what's happening today, we have to understand the so-called theory of primary stage of socialism. They are in that stage. What does it mean? It means that in this primary stage, if you study history of Marxist, and this is a stage where primary being, you can have many elements into it, and in ordinary parlance, we may even call it the mixed economy. We have all elements of the economy because it's necessary. A primary stage is essentially a stage where you accommodate all elements that will promote economic development. So that's where we are. We are in the primary stage of socialism. How long that primary stage will last? 100 years, 50 years, we don't know. But they are, in order to justify the flexibility that they have adopted in terms of economic strategy, after all, they still haven't recovered Taiwan. They have recovered Hong Kong, but Hong Kong, they have to give Hong Kong capitalist autonomy, right? So that theory of primary states of socialism gives the framework for accommodating all these non-socialist aspects of the economic state. Now, nationalism, of course, as a Communist Party, of course, they believe that they are the strongest defender of nationalism. There's no question about that. It goes as part of the self-definition. As for the part of the people itself, they don't think in terms of Marxism or even of socialism. Nowadays, people think of the party, it's a good party if it delivers economic good, delivers jobs, it creates opportunities for higher living standard, and here comes the middle class, especially. For the middle class, this is emerging to be a new challenge for the Communist Party. They are no longer just have to deal with workers, peasants. Increasingly, China is becoming a middle class society, and eventually the idea is to make the middle class the majority part of the population. The middle class don't think on this geological term. They think of all these very essential criteria, which is economic development, defense of national interest. China should be, respected abroad. Here comes nationalism. So that's the criteria that the populace use in judging whether the Communist Party is a good party or not. They don't think, they don't ignore the communists or socialists or Marxists or nothing. They think in terms of how the governing party delivered what it should deliver as a governing party. If it's not delivering with them, they come to revolt. That's why sometimes you will see the middle class revolting against toxic petrochemical projects, pollution, food scandals. These are the issues that are the. If the Communist Party can solve the problems, fine. If not, they will protest. It's not a good party.